question about the group and the performance tonight and consistency. I'm sure is something at the top of your mind.
Yeah. I think this is who we are now. Until we're not, this is who we are. We've kind of been talking about it and responding well to poor performances. But yet again, and it's not even a poor performance tonight. It's just lack of ability to kind of find a way to get a result. Right? I think we've seen this now in the Phoenix game. We've seen it here tonight. The Brooklyn game. These games where there's not a lot in it, probably edging it if anything. But we're finding ways to lose these types of games. We haven't drawn a lot of games this year, which takes some draws right now in some of these situations where, again, they clearly came to be hard to beat. They are hard to beat. We're hard to beat most of the time. But this is just a hurdle we're going to have to get over. Kind of sick of talking about it, really. But yet again, we've kind of backed up a really good performance with a kind of average performance, and that's what we got.
Despite the result, Coach, was there any individual performances that stood out to you? Or?
Maybe not that spring to mind. It wasn't the worst performance overall. The first half was relatively even. I think we started to edge as the half went on. You start to feel a bit more comfortable, a bit more confident. You go into half time. That they're going to regroup and maybe change one or two things. And again, we didn't really do a good enough job of establishing our kind of rhythm back in the second half. And we just a little bit loose in some certain moments. Balls that could have been played forward were playing sideways and backwards. Set pieces that we have set up for a reason, we're changing the plan on the fly. Right, their goal comes from us setting up for a one throw, taking it short, and then trying to figure out a way to get a cross off. It's like that's not what we were. So the guys have changed that on the fly, and it's hard to say that cost us the goal, but we end up scrambling back. And they, it's a little bit of a transition goal. Lasser's on a sprint back, Victor's on a sprint back. So again, we have to do just a better job, honestly. And again, we've limited them to one good chance, right? So it's not like the end of the world. But it's just frustrating.
Second half has been a little bit inconsistent for you.
Yes.
You've been on the front foot a lot of times in the first half. The second half, it seems like you take a little bit too much time to get into it. Really have to be efficient. Is there a reason for that, or is it just how things kind of playing out?
Yeah, that wasn't the case last time. So, I don't know. Again, if they score 16 minutes into the second half, so you think the game's kind of starting to settle into a little bit of a rhythm again. And again, we have moments where we find their moment. I don't know. Maybe I need to start going to the bench a little bit earlier. Maybe some halftime subs to shake things up. I don't know. But again, this is who we are. Until we're not, this is who we are. And I want us to be better. I'm sure the group wants us to be better. I know they do. But we need to find ways to get consistent again.
Hey, Coach, you talked about frustration several times. How do you temper that and yet learn from loss and put it all together and move forward with the players that are coming back and move forward and use that as motivation towards the stretch run?
Yeah, this is the emotional reaction right now, right? Like everybody's frustrated for sure. Once we get back tomorrow, we analyze the best we can, and then we try and give the guys as much feedback as we can on Monday. Again, I look at myself too, right? Like, again, put I back earlier in the second half to try and give us a spark. Again, you kind of want to let the guys settle into it, but again, I've kind of maybe learned my lesson now that we maybe need to change things a little bit earlier. It probably took too long for me to make the round of subs that we made. But honestly, like, you have these kind of plans in your head of like what we're going to do. We probably were ready to make some subs around 65 tonight, but then the goal goes in and you change and you have to rethink some of those. And Adam and I are on the bench scrambling to try and find the right formula to keep enough attackers on the field. Probably keep an extra attacker on the field now that we're down a goal. not leave ourselves exposed at the back. So yeah, again, some of it's on me, some of it's on the guys, but again, we all got to get better at this. Like, I don't just want to be a 500 team, which is kind of right now we're just floating around 500. And that might get you into the playoffs at the end of the year. That might get you into 6th, 7th place. I don't know, but that's not where we want to be.
You looking at this kind of a busy schedule again. You got a Wednesday, Saturday, I believe.
Yeah.
You know, how does this week look for you guys for squad rotation?
Yeah. Oh no, there'll definitely be rotation on Wednesday. I mean, that was already planned, kind of in my mind and Adam as well. So yeah, we'll rotate Wednesday and then we'll rotate again Saturday. Need guys to step up. I think we're also seeing now too that, like, again, part of the consistency. You sometimes hope to build up by, the guys play well and you think you can roll with the same group again, and then all of a sudden we take our foot off the gas. So maybe it's that constant kind of rotation to keep guys on their toes a bit more. I don't know, figuring it out.
So Goldthorpe too had a really big shot. It was a good save too, but I feel like in the first half you guys had a lot of chances. How important is it just to capitalize?
Yeah, absolutely right. They capitalize on the one chance they get. So again, it's all well and good having a good fair bit of territory and momentum as the first half progresses. That's generally what happens in a lot of our games. We're kind of there or thereabouts for 15, 20 minutes, and then we grow into it, and then we start having more of the ball, and then same again in the second half. But can we turn those periods of control and a little bit more territory into more chances? Right? It's not always going to lead to a goal. Can we turn them into more chances? And so again, I think the response today was probably better than it was in the Brooklyn game. I thought the Brooklyn game we didn't do anywhere near enough to get back into it. There was a couple of chances, there was a couple of balls running around the box, but I think we've got to find ways to do more of that as well.
I thought your back line did pretty good keeping them in size.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's one moment, right? Again, it's one really good chance that they get, but it is a really good chance, right? And it's avoidable. And again, I think part of that comes from scrambling back into position. You're going to lose the odd 1v1 out wide every now and again, and then you hope the guys in the box can kind of bail you out. So listen, we've done a really good job defensively for the most part for the past several weeks. We put a lot of emphasis on defending wide areas, stopping crosses, having numbers in the box. So it's disappointing to concede one like that. But again, I don't think we should be not scoring that home, right? If you don't score at home, you don't place enough chances, you're always going to leave yourself open to the possibility of not getting anything again.
Thanks, Coach. So,
Good.
Danny, every time Rhode Island needed out, it felt as if your midfield was open. Like it was kind of weird because they had space in the middle, which never really happens with you guys. Can you talk about that just a little bit?
Yeah, I think especially on that goal. I mean, we put a lot of guys forward on a throw in, and yeah, just weren't quick enough to switch on and get back. And it kind of just hit us in a transition moment. Finally got numbers behind the ball, but a good back post cross and a good finish on their part. But other than that chance, I don't really feel like they had many chances really. That and Nico, I think we didn't start the first half fast enough, especially at home, especially after the win we just came off of. We talked about it, starting games fast to really get on top of teams. And I don't think we did that in the first half. I think the second half was a bit better, but once you get on a goal, we shouldn't wait for that goal to really start getting crosses in the box, more numbers, getting chances. We got to do that a lot sooner.
Is this where three losses against teams that are below you, well below you in the standings? So, is it when you look at the standings, say these teams lightly, or is it just how does it just
I don't think we took them lightly. I know certainly the frustrating ones. Obviously, this is frustrating to lose at home. Jacksonville, Brooklyn as well. Those teams at the bottom of the table. Game that we need to take care of. But we talked about as a team that we need to be up for every game. Just go ahead. You don't want to drop points, especially at home, and then you want to get as many points as you can on the road as well. I mean, this league, you know how hard it is to do that on the road. Yeah, I think we know Rhode Island's going to be a physical battle more than anything. So that's something we got to be up for early on. But yeah, I don't think we took them lightly. I just think we put the foot on the gas a little too late. And obviously they had the one chance, capitalized with a few good dances across the box that we didn't quite get on the end of. But yeah, we need to do more to get 3 points at home for sure.
You good?
Danny, Rob talked about the sequence, maybe even leading up to the goal. Guys were throwing some numbers forward. Some of the defenders came up, caused a little bit of getting back in transition. Just maybe talk about that sequence.
Yeah, I mean, something we've worked on with long throws. We have big guys in the back, so obviously turn our back line in front. I think we've done well to get chances off these long throws and these set pieces. We worked on them before the game and stuff, so I think we've created a lot off them and earned more second chances during corners. So I mean, that was kind of the thought process there. I think we went short. We kind of just changed it up a little bit. We had another set, so then we didn't win that initial ball. But we were kind of wide open. I think someone was left 1v1 when they kind of like cleared it, and then it was basically all of us trying to hold back at that point. And I think we need to do a better job of really, obviously, stopping the cross. I think our defenders did well all game. Didn't really limit them a lot. Obviously, they had to deal with Jadrian. I think they did well at that. They were up for the first battle. It was just kind of one moment there. Obviously, we got back.
You got a quick turnaround here. You got Tulsa coming in on Wednesday. How do you guys reset after a tight loss like this and just get ready for them coming in on Wednesday? Like I said, it's a quick turnaround.
Yeah, I mean, we know we have to respond. You don't want to drop points 2 games in a row. We're at home again. We're playing the team that we played in the finals, so they're going to be up for it, so we have to be up for it as well. But yeah, at one point it's a chance to reset. We didn't get to go with a bad loss. We knew flat out we were a better team, and obviously we shouldn't take the foot off the gas on anyone because there's no easy team in this league. And obviously you saw the responsibility of those guys who dialed in, snatched the play of the game. But we talked about it, like we were up for this game, we were ready, we were prepared. So as frustrating was to not get the 3 points, because you know how important it is to get the 3 points on Wednesday. Because you can't have another setback.
How much motivation are you guys to practice coming in before Vincent?
Yeah, coaching staff does a good job. Obviously, tomorrow will be a treatment day. Then we'll really look over the game on Monday. And yeah, it's a quick turnaround. I mean, for players, it's a good thing that we have such a quick chance to rewrite it. Obviously, play better, perform well, and we'll get another 3 points on the table. A quick turnaround. It's less time to really think about the loss. Obviously, we'll go over it, but you have to move on quickly. Know that this next game is where our main focus is.
Just one more question. Coach talked about a lack of draws this year. It's kind of like Ricky Bobby, right? You're the first or last. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, take the points as you can. At home, we're always going to go for 3. I mean, even if it was tied at the end of the game, you're going to see us pushing the way we were pushing there because the tie at home isn't good enough for us either. But yeah, also, you don't want to give a team behind us a chance to kind of close the gap on us. I think we've had numerous chances this year to kind of put some teams in our back mirror, and we haven't capitalized on that. But the East is still wide open. We're confident in this group, and just know that we got to regroup and basically have better performance on Wednesday.
Thanks, brother. Thanks.
Yeah.